Good evening, and hello also those on Zoom. Tonight we have an interesting topic, a bit different than we normally have. Time management tips. For those who are new with us, my name is Rona Sweitz, and I have been studying, practicing meditation with the Brahma Kumaris for some 30 plus years. And I am in the Manhattan Center since past 7 years. The center offers these type of lectures every week, but also courses and workshops and mini retreats on different topics pertaining spirituality. And my personal interest is in the connection between the health, our emotions, the phenomena within our own mind and consciousness, and how that affects and plays out in our life. And time and time management is a very interesting topic. Sometimes I walk here on Fifth Avenue, especially during weekdays. Almost everybody runs. Have you ever seen? Not run, but everybody is fast. And sometimes I do a little, game or observing, trying to entertain myself, observing what goes on. So you walk and people pass you. They walk fast. And then there is the traffic light is on red. So everybody is waiting. So you catch up with them. And then the light goes on green. Everybody fast again. Going. Next traffic light, you meet them again because they are standing, waiting. And it is kind of interesting to observe how time pressured we are, and fast, quick, to the next, the next scene. It is kind of interesting to observe. Someone one time told me, we get up in the morning and rush throughout the day, rushing to end up where? In the same place in the evening again. And to go to the same bed, the same sleep. So sometimes you wonder, what are we doing? It's like a cycle and you come back to the same place. I'm joking a little bit, but this is a serious topic, time, and how we manage our time. Because your time is your life. Your time is your treasure. Or one of your big treasures is time. But how do we use it? And do we use our time also to have fun? To enjoy and to enjoy our life? Or are we all the time rushing to achieve something to then be happy? Does this happen with us? We're rushing, pressuring, trying to achieve something, trying to work for something, to get something. And when we will get it, then we will be happy. And sometimes we don't get it at all. Or sometimes it may take long time before you get it. Or sometimes it may be years. Now, some people work hard, stress, hard work, rush, to earn money, to at some time in the future, they may buy a house. And so when they buy the house, they are happy. And then they have to rush, work hard to pay off the mortgage. So when the mortgage is paid off, they will be happy. So how many times in their life will they be happy? I'm saying they, but this is like a trend in all of us. No? Your life is what happens to you now. So are you content now? Are you peaceful now? Do you have some level of joy and happiness now? Yes, so this learning to value your time and to stand still or reflect on the reality that your life is what is happening to you now. Your life is what you are experiencing in this moment. And this moment will not come back again. So if we miss it now, you miss it. Miss it. Finish. And this attitude of rushing, and unstructured often can also be unstructured rushing. It makes us lose the moments that we have to have other feelings and other experiences, even if you're on your way to work and even if you are a little late. Because our focus very often is a lot on quality of external life. So we want to have nice looking clothes. We want the hair to be nice. We want to have money in our pocket. We want to have a car. We want to have, we're looking for quality of outer life. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that we have to walk around in rags and dirty and whatever. But we forget that there is also an inner life and a quality of inner life. And our feelings of contentment, our feelings of peace, our feelings of joy, our feelings of enthusiasm, our feelings of peace and courage and fearlessness, that is part of our inner life. And many times we try to fix our outer life and think that then our inner life will be good. But in our attempt to fix our outer life, we forget our inner life. And it is not something that happens if the outer life is fixed, then there will be inner life and feelings and thoughts. It happens parallel. It is not that one first and then the other. It happens parallel. So, time management is about this deep realization that there is this inner life and inner quality of life, and there is external quality of life. Because if in our time management schedules, in our agendas, in our planning, we only take into consideration external life situations, we are very limited and out of balance. And I know people, and I'm sure you do too, people who have a lot, or maybe even have everything you could possibly think of externally, but they can't sleep at night, or they are still having up and downs of some anxiety or sadness or melancholy or complaints, because they haven't planned their inner life. They haven't structured the inner life. And inner life are your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts. Inner life is quality of what is your attitude. Your inner life is what is your perspective and your vision. Inner life means what are your goals and aims in life. What do you feel is your purpose? Because also in terms of time management, it is not just about time management, it is also about being clear of what it is that is your goal and your aim and your purpose. Now we can, for example, we can plan our work schedule and the tasks we have to perform. And when I have to meet the deadlines, for example, we can plan our work like that. But that doesn't necessarily give us a sense of, how you call it, fulfillment. Doesn't necessarily give us a sense of contentment, because we might not be liking the job at all. We might not have a sense of purpose for the job except for making money or having to make money. Time management is combined with your clarity of purpose. What is my aim? What is my aim with work? We need to be clear of that. And if your aim is only to make money, that is not a very, what is the word? That is not a very intelligent way of using your time. Because your work, how many hours you spend at work? And on average, let's say people work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That is 40 hours in a week. Is 1/3 of your time in a week. If 1/3 of your time in a week you spend doing things you don't really like, but you just feel you need to make money, that is not a very effective way of using your time. And it is not a way that you address your both sides, the outer life and the inner life. Am I? If 1/3 of your life, 1/3 of your time, you spend in a way that you, in doing things that you don't really like to do or want to do, but your only reason for doing it is to earn money, that's not very effective. Now you can say, but my work really is not pleasant. But you could always find something pleasant in it. Or you could always make it pleasant by redefining your purpose, or clarifying for yourself, or finding ways to make it interesting. So time management is not just about separating blocks of times, dedicating it to a certain activity. The activity has to be meaningful for you. Meaningful at an external level, but also meaningful at an internal level. Because then you're using your time in a worthwhile way to empower yourself, or to at least to keep yourself content also. Does it make sense? Am I able to express? And so there are many techniques, to create agendas, and there's a lot of technologies these days that helps you track your appointments and your tasks and schedule out your tasks. And it is good to have an agenda for your time in terms of activities. But to really have a deeper sense of success and fulfillment, it is good to also have an agenda for your thoughts. To also have an agenda of how you want to feel, what kinds of thoughts and feelings you're creating. It is also very useful to have a clear, defined purpose. And you can say, but not everything, Rona, has to be like a deep reflection. No, not everything, but as an individual, as a human being, we should have some clarity of purpose, some sense of purpose. Otherwise, every day will just be following on the next and on the next and on the next, and you do the same things. You get up, you drink 2 cups of coffee, you eat, you take shower, you rush to work, it becomes very robotic if we are not having a deeper meaning to our life. And how you use your time and how you divide your time will then be in context of your broader aim and your purpose. Now, anyone want to share? What is your aim or your purpose? You have some clarity for yourself. What is purpose of my life? What is my aim? Because how you use your time, how you use the treasure of your time, how you use the treasure of your thought will depend on that. Otherwise, we are just like herd mentality, do what everybody does. Eat, drink, sleep, entertainment, binge watching some dramas on the television. Making money, spending money, that's it? Or is this too difficult a question to ask? It's a good question, yeah. Can we get a mic?
No, I think it's a good question. Personally, I think it's layered. So for me, I think I've spent sometimes too much time in thought about what my purpose is, so much so that there was like a sense of stagnancy or inaction. Mm-hmm. And then I've also immersed myself in action, trying
without
new things
thought.
without thought.
Yeah.
And then it's coming back to that balanced place of thought and action combined. And I think ultimately, for me, like the searching became very painful. But I think I've rested on a sense of wanting to help inspire peace in others to some degree. And I think sometimes I get hung up on the how. And sometimes maybe that's not as important, because I think one can inspire peace in others in so many different ways throughout the day, whether that means you just give someone a smile, that can be a form. So I think, in answer to your question, the how has occurred me to struggle sometimes. So I'm curious how you, in your path, have encountered your personal purpose and how you kind of escaped that like lingering question of why and how.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Well, before I started a spiritual path, before I began meditating, as a teenager, actually, you kind of struggle with these existential questions, no? Because you're swept away by what everybody does and the peer pressures and the traditional ideas of you have to become someone, you have to get married and children and a job and all of that. But looking at others and looking at adults also, I felt, okay, everybody is doing that, but they're still not happy. And they're still not, I shouldn't say, I shouldn't generalize, but in general, the world is not peaceful. Having everybody doing that, still there are so many complex situations. So I settled on the thought my life should be useful. And this is one of the reasons why I went to medical school and taking the education at the university level to, at least I thought, at least I could help, and be useful and contribute to the well-being of others. When I came into into a spiritual journey, when I came across the Brahma Kumaris, that actually basically stayed the same, just it refined. I began to realize that helping others also means helping myself. Because what am I helping others if I am not clear myself? And it became more refined in the sense that I began to realize that our innate nature is a nature of giving and sharing. That our innate nature is, we love to experience different things, variety of things, and we like to help others also experience their own higher potential. And so that became my aim, clearly defined in my head. And I knew that for me the way was spirituality. I understood, I started to study spiritual knowledge, I started to meditate. And so even the job I was in, there were many things that I felt is not, not right or not pleasant or not good. But I wasn't there for that. Yes, it brought in money also, but there were so many interactions and so many possibilities at the individual level, with colleagues, with patients, with other staff and personnel. There were so many opportunities to share thoughts, to share feelings, to share experiences. And so I didn't go to work to just earn money or to just get the task done, but every moment was an opportunity to share. And sometimes it was just a smile, but that is not just a smile. A smile is a big thing. It's a beautiful gift. So even though I did not love the working environment and the structures at work, I loved being there because I was doing what was in line with what deeper inside I felt was my aim. And of course, it helps that it also brings in money. But that is not my only purpose for going there. And there were many things in the management that I was not agreeing with, that I felt was abusive, all of those things were there. But I could still make good use of my time at work and having my inner life flourish. I made so many friends, and some of them are still friends today. And some of them have also joined in the spiritual journey in different ways. So there, even though I look back on a job and a organizational structure that I completely felt is absolutely crazy, I look back at that time with a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. And even though I quit at some stage, but not with a feeling of disgust or anything. It's just I chose, and there were other options, so I chose differently. Am I making sense? So your time, the way you use your time and the way you feel about the way you have used your time, it has to be in the context of a clearly defined aim and purpose. Because otherwise you will be very task-oriented. This is a task, and this is a task, and this I have to get done. And the tasks usually are defined by the organization you work for or the context you work in. Usually, unless you are your own boss. Those tasks and what you have to do and how you do it, much of it is defined by others, by protocols and by structures that exist. But in my case, a deeper purpose for me was to have meaningful human interactions and to have interactions where both are enriched. And so, yes, it is a patient, yes, it is a nurse-doctor relationship or doctor-doctor relationship, but there are also two human beings. There are also two beings interacting. And if at that level I can bring in quality and I can share, then I feel today was a day well spent. Even though my boss may have made some mad decision or some crazy behavior that I did not agree with. But there were many other things that fell in line with what I deeply hold. Valuable. I'm not sure if I'm able to explain. Yeah? Jose, you want to say something? Anyone else want to say anything? Or on Zoom? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It makes a lot of sense. I think sometimes what I personally struggle with is the difference between seeking a feeling and experiencing a feeling. And like what you mentioned about being useful, for instance, I think I've spent a lot of time seeking whatever feeling I was, bless you, whatever feeling I was looking for, instead of having an open energy and experiencing it. So, because I think sometimes when someone searches for an aim, it becomes inherently stressful almost.
Yeah, I understand.
So, because that's been a large focus of mine for so many years, is finding that ultimate purpose. And sometimes I get hung up on the ultimate purpose so much so that you miss the purpose itself. So just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah. Well, Raj Yoga and Raj Yoga meditation have given me a broader understanding of time in terms of human civilization and the journey of human civilization. The understanding in Raj Yoga is that there was a time when humanity lived its highest nature. Right? That human beings were peaceful, loveful, beautiful, godlike beings. That this world, there was a time when this world was like a paradise. When everyone was in that soul awake, soul conscious state and experienced themselves as immortal beings of light. But over time, humanity has lost that awareness. Over time, over a long time, birth after birth, many generations, that spiritual awareness was lost, and that spiritual awareness was replaced with what we call ego, and replaced with false identities. It was replaced with thinking I am a bodily being, I'm a human being, thinking I can die and I can lose things. And that brings insecurity and ego and attachments, and that brings out the worst in human beings. So over time, humanity has lost their awareness of who they are, and because of that, their godlike nature cannot be manifested. And we fall into what we call body consciousness and vices. And so humanity is now in that lower state of body consciousness and ignorance and arrogance and anger and depression and sadness and hopelessness and aimlessness and purposelessness and identity crisis and anxiety. And we have lost that sense of family, world family. And we feel, I don't know you and I don't care about you either. So lots of complications have arisen over the eras. And so humanity is now at that lowest state of utter ignorance and body consciousness and vices and violence and cruelty and sadness also, and pain, and huge karmic accounts have been built up. And so in the context of that story, that history, how do I position myself now? What is my purpose in the context of the larger story of humanity? Do I need to be a mother and bring more children on this earth? There are plenty of children. And there are plenty of children who don't have parents. So if I want to be parent, then be parent for some of those. What is the world needing at this moment in time? So in the context of making my life useful, then I have to define first also what is usefulness, no? And what is useful for this earth and for humanity. And so in that context, I have learned now through the spiritual wisdom and the practice of meditation to use my time now in a worthwhile way would be to use it for the spiritual empowerment of myself and of others. Spiritual enrichment of self and others. And so even if I would go to a work setting to earn money, my deeper aim would be finding ways to spiritually uplift. Understand? Because I understand in the context of what is happening in the world, we need to bring back spiritual awareness. You know, if you sometimes watch these scenes of war, you know, people, we are all brothers. We are one. Even at that physical level, we all live on the same earth. We are all part of the same human family. How can we hate each other so much? Actually, we are hating ourselves, and that inner hate and anger is just projected outwardly. We have completely lost context. If I destroy my neighbor, I'm destroying myself. This, on earth, there are enough bombs and weaponry to destroy the planet 15 times. What are we going to do with all of that? Destroy somebody else? You think I will be safe if I destroy someone else? There will be 10 others pointing guns and bombs at me. What have we done? What have we created? Everybody's crying, everybody's sad, few people are angry and arrogant and showing power, pointing guns. What have we been, it is like madness. So in a time like that, what is my aim? How would I want to use my life? And of course I can't necessarily create peace at that scale, but at least I can make peace with my neighbors, with those whom I live with, those whom I work with. At least I can make peace with myself, not fight in here. And agreed, sometimes it's not easy. Some personalities are so conflictuous that it really, how you say that? In Dutch we have a saying, they pull the blood underneath your nails, meaning so provocative. Of course, agreed. There are situations and there are people who push your buttons to the max. But if my aim is to help create clarity, to help bring some patience, some tolerance, some love back, then that will also be nice little challenge, no? Nice little test. And then at the end of a day, you will have felt, okay, my agenda I have worked, whatever was on my to-do list I have done, but I have also worked on my inner life. And I have also addressed my deeper sense of value and purpose. And ultimately, that is what brings fulfillment. All those tasks, tomorrow there will be another list of to do. And day after tomorrow there will be another list. The real, a deeper sense of contentment and fulfillment doesn't come just by fulfilling tasks or getting tasks done. I've seen also in the meditation center, in our retreat center, there are always so many tasks to do. It never finishes. At work, emails, do they ever finish? It doesn't finish. Yes, you do what you can, but to be happy when your emails finish is very limited. Because tomorrow there is a whole other bunch, and the day after is another bunch. If one day you don't do, you have 60 emails to attend to. Your sense of value or success shouldn't be based on those tasks. It has to do with how you use your internal specialities and qualities. And sometimes you get a bump. So what? One other aspect of my feeling of purpose is also the feeling that we have lost touch with God. We have lost our relationship with God. And to rediscover that again, to reignite that again, to raise your awareness to that level where you can experience the company and the presence of God and enjoy that company. That is another purpose. And to deepen that relationship, to truly know God on an intimate level. But God is invisible. God is not a human being, so we have to train our mind and our intellect to tune in to that invisible and subtle level, to perceive the beauty and the sweetness of companionship and friendship with the Supreme. And those feelings and those experiences you then infuse in your interactions with others to the extent you can. So this was a different kind of time management tips than you probably would have gotten from a life coach or a corporate coach. But time is your treasure, one of your treasures. If you use it wisely, it can bring you untold fortune and joy. But we need to address time in that broader context of aim, a broader perspective on life, and also journey of humanity, and how to use your time in a worthwhile way. Perform the highest karma, the best quality of actions by empowering self, empowering others, but not in a what is it? A have to kind of way, but in a natural way, with your own natural nature. Not rigid, but also not unnatural, not like planned kind of. I don't know how to say this. Just meeting with people. You're interacting. It's not like I have to sit and lecture now, but just you be with each other and you share things with each other with the feeling of friendship, with the feeling of brotherhood. Okay, anyone want to say anything? It will be nice to hear something from Jose. Or anyone on Zoom, feel free.
And just on the last thought, using your time, like you say, when you are doing your task, and when you are in that consciousness of going through your task as it was planned, there is more stress because you are kind of feeling pressure of going of doing things step by step. Or this has to be done like this. If it doesn't happen this way, I'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
And time goes without you knowing that it's happening. And the other way to do it is enjoying what you are doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm doing something, and I just take my time doing whatever I'm doing with the consciousness of discovering something within myself, or learning, or learning from others. It makes my time more special and more pleasant to go by.
Yeah, very good. Very useful. One of our dear friends in the retreat center upstate, you can imagine the amount of dishes and pots that there are to wash because of the cooking that happens there. For last weekend we were with some 120, 130 people, and cooking happens there. It is not out. So there's lots of washing and pot washing to do. So one of our dear brothers, resident there, he doesn't say, I need to do the dishes or I need to wash the pots. He says, I'm playing with water. I'm playing with water. And when we wash the pots, everything shines and it smiles at me. So feeling like, it's a very different attitude. It is a playful attitude. It is, and you do it with others. And he says, water is such a refreshing thing. I'm playing with water. And the dishes and the pots, they smile back at me after washing. So this is what I was trying to say. You can plan your time and manage your time. 40 minutes pot washing, another 40 minutes cooking, or 40 minutes playing with water. is a very different thing. And so to make use of your time in an enjoyable way, even though you may be performing a task, but take care of your inner life also. That is, and then you will feel your day is satisfactory. Otherwise, it is like a robot, like a machine every day, pot washing and this wash and that one, and the tasks, and they get done. Yes, they might get done. After a while, you might even get fed up doing it in anyway. But then you have to, because you feel you have to work, because you have to get money. That is not living. That is, I don't even know how to call that, And then rushing for the next task, rushing for the next task, rushing and feeling pressured and deadline for the next task. That is like robot. And we're missing out on expressing our specialities and the beauty that is within us. Star, you wanted to say something?
Shanti, I was just going to say that the meditation that I've learned throughout the years has helped so much when I think I have no time left, just to take even just 1 minute. It clarifies the mind so much that you end up feeling like you have more time than what you thought before you took off just 1 minute just to relax and just to,
Connect.
connect with, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just was saying, I was thinking about that because you would think that time is going to be the same for one person as the next, but it really is in your hands. Yeah.
Yeah, we did not speak about that in this time, but this is one of the very beautiful discoveries. If you take time to attend to your inner world, you all of a sudden see how much time there actually is. It almost seems contradictory, but when experimenting with that, it's like a little miracle.
And then even the tasks become so much easier too.
Yeah, there is also more clarity. So you will do things more efficiently,
Yeah.
and also you don't make mountains out of molehills. You see things in right perspective, and it's more easy to get things done.
And it really starts viewing yourself favorably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You can, consult your mind, your inner world, and it can be completely negative.
yeah.
You're spending all this time in the negative, but viewing yourself favorably, then
Yeah, it gives a positive input. Yeah, very good. Okay. Well, it's a bit of a different topic than we usually have. Tips for time management, spiritual perspective. So, most welcome to join. Monday, 6:30 to 8. Saturday there is a workshop at 12, and Sunday there is a heart-to-heart conversation in the early evening. So many things to do. It's all here. It's all here. And you're invited to bring others. Okay? Let's close. Just some moment of silent reflection. Thank you, and good evening.